Okay, hello. This is Elmarie from Worcester, Western Cape, South Africa. My channel, as you should know by now, is about yarn, sewing, crocheting, knitting, art. I've got a lot of stuff lined up that I'm so excited about. I can't even, but I'm not going to talk about that now. Um, about design stuff of my own. Anyway, I'm talking about yarn, not about that. So, tonight is Yarn Friday. Last Yarn Friday did not work out really well. I had to delete the whole thing because it was just it. I did it on the iPhone and it just did not work out at all. But I think that was uh, a blessing in disguise because I got in new yarn today. So I really still want to talk about yarn, just basic yarn, what it is about, why I said before, why I stock it and that sort of thing, and why I support South African yarns. That was the previous one, and I'm going to stick to that idea right now, why I support South African yarns. So let's start there. Why do I support South African yarns? Why would you very, very rarely at this point in time, no, actually, ever, at this point in time. I can't say that. I've got a few I've got a few Katya, but I don't really like it. So I stopped. I'm not going to use it. But if you come into my house or my studio or whatever, you will not find imported yarns. You will find South African yarns. And the reason behind that is actually very simple. When I started out crocheting, which was about more than 3 years now, I went to the local yarn shop as you usually do, and I took whatever I could. And I realized, but a lot of the stuff I'm using is actually imported yarns. And I thought, but why? Why am I seeing so many yarns imported from Turkey? Why am I seeing so much imported from China? I mean, we've got a huge amount of yarn. We've got one huge commercial yarn place called Saprotix, and got another one called African Expressions. They're both South African. And then we've got a lot of indie dyers and a lot of just natural fiber yarn dyers and manufacturers. I mean, why so much imported stuff? Well, I got some answers about that, and it's answers that I just didn't like, and I realized, but the imported market, there are some, and I'm not talking about sheepies. Sheepies is a small niche market. Um, if something is important from Britain or wherever, and there's one place you can buy that yarn, I've got no problem with it because it's not flooding our market. It's not flooding the South African market. I think it has very little impact on it. I could be wrong, but as I see it, there's very little impact. So, sorry, that's just one of my suppliers. I decided after that I will stick mostly to South African yarns. I used a lot of Vinny's, which is a natural fiber. I just prefer natural fibers. I really don't like acrylics. It has the pros and cons. It sometimes it's necessary to work with acrylics. I've got some acrylic yarns here because it's for charity stuff, and then you can't use natural fibers all the time because it's really large projects that you just that you end up giving away. And if you have to go buy the material, yeah, I don't have to explain. But that's the only place I will use acrylics. I don't like working with them. Gives me the creeps. Other than that, I have cottons and I have merino. I want to show you firstly what I mean with Cyprotex is the biggest commercial yarn supplier in South Africa. I showed this to you before and I'll show it again now. Their brand name, their basic brand name is L-E-L-L-E, that they use in general. You will find that in South African yarn shops all the time. I actually have a cotton series, which is very nice. And then they also have a macerated cotton series that is dyed, I think, in India or somewhere. But anyway, it's lovely yarns. I've got nothing against them. And then, of course, they have acrylics and they have mixers and what have you. The one that I have here, and I showed that before, I know I did, is Charity. And it's exactly what it says. Charity. It is meant for charity. Well, although I think a lot of people use it just for basic stuff as well. If I have to use it, it will be for charity. I wish I can show you how much of it's lying here, and I'm just not using it because I don't have the guts to. And then the other brand I wanted to show you was African Expressions. Just excuse me, it's over there. Yeah, I've got two of these with me, and I bought two skeins the other day just to work with it. African Expressions is also a commercial yarn supplier. Most of their stuff is machine dyed, I know that. And machine spun, and you can see that the difference between something that is machine spun and hand spun or spun with a wool winder is this. It's really easy to see. This is what done with a wool winder. This is machine, rolled by a machine. This, as you can see, is one color, but in spite of that, you see those little white, it's almost still variegated, even though it's dyed. This is how you know it's hand dyed. And I love it. I prefer this way before this. This feels as if there's life to it. But that is my personal preference. Not everybody wants that. So these are mostly natural fibers. It's a mixture between kid mohair, mulberry silk, merino wool, and then there's 20% polyamide, which in most cases in sock yarns they use because they say it strengthens the fiber. Not so sure about that, but yeah. So these are the commercial yarn suppliers that you will find. That is far more, mostly machine dyed, mostly machine rolled, whatever, spun, I don't know, but it's done by a machine. It is also done in Port Elizabeth. Cyprotex is in Port Elizabeth. If you go to a yarn shop and you have to choose between, oh, and the other one that's also done by Cyprotex, by the way, is the one you get at Checkers. It's called Chick. Also a good one to have if you want to buy that. If you go to a yarn shop and you look at the labels, You will, for instance, see that on the label it says, I know this is one company called Kismet, and it says that they are in Creersdorp, blah, 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 but actually they import their yarns from Turkey. So you're not using a local yarn. If it says Cyprotex or it says L or it says anything else on that label, just check where it comes from. If you have no other choice, if there's nothing else available, by all means, buy an imported yarn. If there's nothing else available, something really beautiful from Sheepius, or it's like a whatever, it's something from England, and it's really beautiful, and you can't find anything similar in South African brand, sure. But try, and if you have to work with acrylics or you want to work with acrylics, just try and keep to the South African brands. I think that for me, sorry, I've got a plaster on my finger. I cut myself. Just take it off, it looks weird. So yeah, just do that. Because at the end of the day, you are still supporting a South African woman sitting in PE in a workspace where she is doing this work. A South African man or South African woman who's working here, and they have to take care of a family. That is how I feel about that. That is how I will continue feeling about that. I'm not changing my tune about it. I understand people are suffering all over the world, but I believe that we need to take care of the South Africans and the South African market. And it doesn't matter where that market is situated. If it is in PE, then it's in PE. If it's in Natal, it's in Natal, but it's still South African. And it still supports South African families. So, okay, so that's on the commercial side. On the hand-dyed indie dyer side, of course, I stock Moya. Then there's Vinnie's, there's all sorts of stuff. I stock Moya and I stock Colors of Grace. And I am now also a stockist of Beatrix yarns, and I love them. I love all of them. So I'll show you quickly some new ideas. Okay, now the two yarns I have that I stock. Just hang on a moment, I'll be here now. Okay, I'm back. The difference between my cottons that I have at the moment is the one is Moya. I already showed you this before, but I'm showing it again. And Colors of Grace. Now, Colors of Grace was this little pinky one. Well, it's not really pink. It's like a salmon color. It's very difficult to show you in this light, but it's beautiful. These two just work together amazing. You can't really see the colors, which is really sad. But yeah. Oh, there's a teal one that works awesomely with this. Anyway, so these are the two cottons that I supply. I love both of them. Moya does have a slightly larger range of yarns. The difference between the plies and the stuff, that's a whole technical story. But you will see that it all depends. This one is 4-ply and this one is double knit. Can you see a difference? There is such a small difference. It's a tiny, tiny little difference between the two in terms of it's just about the weight. No, it can't be about, anyway, but there's not a lot of difference. I work with both at the same time and you can't see any difference whatsoever. Um, they are very different color schemes. As I said before, and I will say it again and again to everybody's frustration, but I love the way the dyers all have their own little thing. How every dyer, you can almost, if it's an indie dyer, no matter if they use the same type of colors, there will be something different about each dyer stuff. And I love that. And I think the most amazing thing about that is that you see so much of the personality of that dyer in their work. It's like art. You can see two painters' works, and they do work on the same theme, and they will look completely different. And the same goes for dyers. So anyway, these are my two cottons that I stock. I love cotton because it is obviously it's cotton. It's not animal fiber. And anyway, it's a well, I can't get to the word. It's light. It's very light. When you use it and you make something out of it, it ends up being very light. These are ideal for summer times. I love cotton. For me, it's one of those natural fibers that just works. Moya has a bamboo series it's a wonderful bamboo. If you into that sort of thing, gonna love it. Lux is a mix between cotton and bamboo. You're gonna love it. I don't really like bamboo. The only bamboo that I have worked with that I actually did like or could work with was Moya's, because it doesn't split on me. But I'm not such a great lover of bamboo. I don't like, I don't think I'm gonna like silk either. I haven't even tried working with it. My personal preference is just something that has a grip on it, good grip on it. Okay, so that will be that. Oh, I've also got Moya swirls, which look like this. They actually taken, it's another lady that does this. She takes the yarn, see, and just adds it and makes a swirl out of it. It's very nice. I'll show a FO of that very soon, I hope. Another color about that. And then, of course, as I said before, I've got my merinos. Now, my merinos sorry, are one short. Stole one. I stole my blue. Now, I want to show you these because I'm going to show you the others now, and then you'll understand what I say. This is done by Colors of Grace. These are 50 grams of sock weight merino. I love it. Made this out of it. There's another one that needs to be rolled right over there. I need to get my younger son here again. She's also got this like chocolatey brown. And then this variegated one that's almost got a couple of speckles almost in it. Don't know if you can see it there. Okay. Okay, there we go. You see those little yellow speckles and there's blue in there. This one is the same. It's just ever so slightly lighter. It's almost easier to see the yellowy bits. See? And the blue bits in between. So, but now if you look at this, oh, it looks great together. This one and this one, can you see the yellow? I don't even like yellow. And this is beautiful. It's like almost a yellow ochre or mustard yellow. And honestly, I do not like yellow. It's gorgeous. I love it. Anyway, So that will be my merinos. That's a sock weight. And the difference between that one and the one I'm going to show you now is it's thinner. It's just thinner. And you get more yardage out of it, which is the plus point. These are my new batch of very beautiful double knit Beatrix yarns. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm raining. Look at this. 50 grams of each. See, double knits. Now I got them in these skeins rather than in. I thought about asking her to put it in balls, and then I thought, no, that's okay. I've got these in balls, and next time I'll probably have them in skeins as well. It's easier to see what's going on here. This is like a lime greeny color. It's beautiful. It's called pistachio macaroon. And then this one, succulent green, is more a dull green, you can see. Anyway, I've got 10 of them. They are really beautiful. Now, once again, as I showed you with that, this is how you know it's hand dyed. It's not machine dyed. You see, it's actually, I think in America they call it toned. So even though it is supposed to be a solid color, you can still see those bits in between. And that is actually what I love. So I've got these really beautiful colors available, by the way, for sale in my shop, as is those colors of grace. And I don't like the word proud. I don't look. Wait, just before I stop, look at these colors. You see? Okay. I don't like the word proud. I honestly believe the Bible when it says pride is the root of sin. But I can honestly say that what I have in my shop, I am so pleased with. I am so pleased to be able to say, you know what, you can find this dyer there. You can find this dyer there. You can find this one over there. I am really, really pleased with it. That I can honestly say, I know each one of these dyers except for the commercial ones personally. I've met them personally. I can tell you, and I'm still talking to them about it. I really do want to have a, just get them on Skype or something. So yeah, these are the reasons why I support South African dyers, why I support South African yarns, and will continue to support it. Why I will continue to support South African designers. And I mean, there are amazing designers out there. I think one of the things, okay, I'm not going to talk about the designers. I'm just going to get myself in trouble. But honestly, I think I will constantly be supporting the South African market as far as I possibly can. I mean, I don't get knitting needles from South Africa or crochet hooks, but I do get yarn from South Africans. I get yarn from South Africans where the yarn itself, the dyes are done in South Africa. The yarns come from South Africa. I think some of the cottons are imported. I can't remember from where actually, but it's also close by in Africa somewhere. Mozambique, not sure. Because cotton only grows in certain circumstances. So that's my thing about yarn. That's my thing about why I support South African yarns. I'm literally sitting here at my desk, looking at way too much yarn on my desk. And I have such a feeling of contentment, knowing that these yarns come from somewhere, some person who is living in South Africa and is making a living out of these yarns, and I can support that. So I know this is a bit of an intense Yarn Friday, but if I can encourage you, if I can encourage one person, two people, to check a label before they buy it, to try and find something really beautiful from a South African dyer or a South African yarn provider, rather than buying it imported. Every single person who decides to support the South African market, the South African yarn industry, is supporting the person behind that. And no, our yarns are not so much more expensive. They just aren't. I can honestly say that. If you get to a place and you say, this yarn is way too expensive, just try and find it somewhere else. You can go from one shop to another shop and pay like 10 Rand less. I have to, or buy it online or whatever, but I'm pretty passionate about this, as you may notice. I'm really passionate about it. I believe in the South African people. I believe in this country. I believe God has a purpose with this country. And the more we support people who are living here, working here, creating these beautiful works of art, the hand dyers, because honestly, they're beautiful. Or even if you just have to do acrylics and you just buy stuff from Sacrotex or buy something from African Expressions, try to keep it local. I want to truly encourage you to please try, check labels, and keep it local. You're not going to pay so much more for a product created by a South African person who needs to feed their children than you are going to pay for something imported from Turkey or China, where you have absolutely no connection with. Well, okay, this one was specifically for South Africans then. This was specifically for South Africans. And I'm truly hoping that I make sense, that I'm not talking a truckload of rubbish. Please have a wonderful weekend. Take care. I see you again on Monday with just a normal chatty one. Hopefully with some FOs. I've got baggy FOs. I've got one on my knitting needles that's nearly done. Oh, and another one I'm busy crocheting that should be quite quick. So, see you on Monday. Bye.